But on one hand, I'm super excited about what MikeElko's building. I still am. I feel like he's planting seeds. I feel like he's building a foundation, meeting with high school coaches, still recruiting. By all reports, he's about to get real active in the transfer portal, making good hires, hires that most approve of at this point. I'm not just talking about Aggies, I'm talking about nationwide approval for the program that is usually the point and laugh program approval. On the other hand, the portal. Probably a little bit worse than we even expected. And I was expecting some names, but not the names we got today. We'll talk about that. But let's talk about Elko's building first. Let's start a little bit positive. I see Tyler Hodak in here saying, console me, please. MikeElko is building a solid foundation for this program. He hired Collin Klein out of Kansas State today. By now, you guys have heard the news. You've digested it. You thought about it. It's a good hire. Young, up-and-comer, 34 years old. Pried him out of Kansas State. He's denied offers from Notre Dame and Penn State. That speaks to, well, first of all, the money that A&M can offer, but also what A&M is. I want to talk about that in a second. But he's a guy that brings a multiple offense, maybe a run-first offense, but it's an offense that's been touted as one that can get a lot of different playmakers involved. And when he's going to have the toys that he has at A&M, that could be a really good thing. I'm thinking of players like Moose Muhammad, who we didn't see utilized very much this year, potentially getting utilized more in a system like Collin Klein's. So it's a really exciting hire. He's an up-and-comer. He's another hungry dog. You compare him to MikeElko. MikeElko, the guy that obviously just hired him. Elko has 2 years of head coaching experience. He has everything to prove. Collin Klein has 2 years of OC experience at Kansas State. He transformed their offense. They were a plodding, slower running offense before, power running offense before. And they became something more modern, more multiple, using a lot of misdirection. I haven't done a deep dive on their film yet, but from what I hear and what I read, use a lot of misdirection. They're not afraid to spread you out as quickly as they're afraid to show you a power look. They're going to manipulate eyes with motion. And like I keep saying, they're going to get a lot of playmakers involved. Really modern, fun offense. But it kind of speaks to what A&M is. I think it's really cool that he rejected Notre Dame and Penn State. I think the difference that sets A&M apart right now, as particularly an OC destination or even a defensive coordinator destination, a coaching destination, obviously aside from everything it has to offer, which we've talked about time and time again here, I can't think of another program. This is kind of a dig at the same time as it is a compliment, but I can't think of another program that has such mediocre current results in production and even history relative to the potential. I can't think of a program with a larger gap between the two. So this is absolutely a program where you can come and you can make a name for yourself and you can build it and you can stay a long time and reap the benefits of being the first to do it here. I think that's significant. I think it's really cool. So we're really excited to get Collin Klein. Several hires have been made since the last time we talked. I think it all happened the next day. I think it happened Tuesday, Monday. Obviously, we knew about Sean Spencer, D-line coach. Cushing, O-line coach out of Duke. Ishmael Arstad, back. He used to coach at A&M under Elko. Now he's back coaching DBs from Duke. A&M hired a GM, director of player personnel, Derek Miller. I don't know much about these guys individually, but what I do know is the reaction that A&M is getting to the hires they've made so far. A&M, typically the point and laugh school, right? Typically, this is the school that everyone makes fun of. But almost everybody is approving of the hires that A&M has made so far. That's pretty unusual around here. I wanted to contrast the hires that Elko is choosing to make right now, or compare and contrast them to Jimbo's latest staff. Jimbo hired a bunch of guys who are maybe on the decline of their career or come from scandalous backgrounds, a very heavy baggage coaching staff. Talking Durkin, and I'm especially talking Adazio and Petrino, and Jimbo himself. These are all guys that bring a lot of baggage and a lot of maybe unwanted attention to a football program. Guys that maybe bring some drama, some stubbornness. Maybe they're good coaches. Turns out some of them weren't. We don't think. Elko's staff seems to be a low-maintenance, hungry group of coaches. And I think that's what A&M desperately needed. You get enough bad press here as it is. And it's really bad right now with all the ammunition this transfer portal is giving On3 and Hayes Fawcett and the rest of the national landscape and national talking heads. Bunch of the buzzword right now is football guys. And to me, football guys are low maintenance guys that are willing to set everything else aside and just coach this damn game. And that has me fired up. Elko's doing a lot of things right now. I think a lot of these transfers, which we're about to talk about, are kind of out of his control. I think a lot of them leave with E-Rob. You lose 2 East Coast kids today who are probably very loyal to E-Rob and Fadil Diggs, Chase Basantis. Both names I don't think anybody really expected to see that really hurt. We'll talk about the transfers in a second. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat today.